both you guys have had epic battles in Ironman. I mean, thinking about you in New Zealand last year next to Cam Brown for all that time, and you and Peter Reid at Foster as well, spent a whole day smacking each other. I mean, after you come off something like that where the result doesn't swing your way, I mean, how do you pick yourself up again?
Yeah, it is quite difficult because you prepare yourself mentally for that race, that battle. You just prepare yourself to hurt yourself for 8.5 hours, and that's what you do. And to fall short by, I guess, 60 seconds last year to Brownie in New Zealand, and you can look back the year before, and it was 28 seconds to Oscar Galindez in Brazil, which at the pace we're running, it's merely just over 100 metres really. But it does. You're so excited and wrapped with your performance on the day because you literally have spent every single bicky that you've got in your tank. But then you get back a week later and you just start thinking, what the hell do I have to do to win a race? I've put myself into the hurt locker, I've dipped into the well as far as I possibly could, and I've still pulled up an arm's length short, So it takes a while and that's where I think, as Chris says, you do too many a year, and you get to that point where you just can't hurt yourself that much anymore, and you just don't want to go back there again. So.
And of course, you dipped into I'll borrow Paul Sherwinism here, you dipped into the suitcase of courage in your home race in Australia, and it was you and Peter Reid, of course, who went on to win 3 Hawaiis. I mean, that was tough too at home.
Yeah, dealing with it afterwards, it's like a roller coaster, because number one, you're sort of satisfied with the race, and it's pretty rare in an Ironman race. It's like Luke having the lead in Brazil and trying to hold off Oscar. Most times you get to an Ironman race and the result's sort of there and done at 10 kilometres in, or you're fading so much that someone's going to come over the top of you. But when you get into these head-to-head battles, it's something pretty rare in Ironman racing, so it's pretty special. And for Peter and I, it came down to a sprint. I think I was leading with 50 metres to go, but he blew past me like nothing else. And Luke's lost it where he's had the lead and going head-to-head with Cam Brown. And it's funny, I'm sure he's had the lows after those races, but at the end of the day, you're involved in a very special race that, coming down to sprint finishes after 8.5 hours, it's pretty cool.
Do you replay it?
Funny thing with mine is I practiced sprinting at the end of my long runs. I thought I had it wrapped up. As Shane Smith and I would be doing our 2.5 hour, 2:45 runs, and we're like, let's throw in a couple of sprints just in case. And it got down to the end of that race, I'm like, I'm going to take him here. But I think he sort of had me, he was bluffing the whole time. But I wore a short sleeve wetsuit in that race, and I remember the sponsor saying, well, you lost it in the swim with that wetsuit. I think I lost it. The 5 seconds there really mattered. So it's good racing, but it is hard, I think, in the mind at times.